Hi everyone, my name is Michael Kissinger, and I'm a product manager here at LaunchCode. I'm joined with my friend Daniel.
Hello, Michael. My name is Daniel. I work at Launchcode. I've been a software developer for about 5 years now. I became a senior developer at Launchcode about a year ago. Been leading a few projects and loving it ever since.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Today we're going to tell you a little bit about a project that's very near and dear to our hearts, autonomous living. So Daniel, let me just start off by asking a very simple question. What is autonomous living?
Thank you, Michael. It's a really complex question. Let me try and dissect that real quick. So basically, autonomous living is all about assisting um, people with disabilities in taking control of their lives and giving them more autonomy over day-to-day activities. It's meant to really assist also the caregivers, who are the people who provide care to those individuals and help automate some of their day-to-day workflows.
Fantastic, fantastic. So you have the people with disabilities and their caregivers. What are the main benefits that these two groups are going to have?
Absolutely. So the people with disabilities, for them, it's well, let's define that a bit. So basically, a person with disability is somebody who has learning disabilities or autism or any kind of like something they struggle with on a day-to-day basis that requires care from a person. These people, they sometimes they get so in the zone or like they get sidetracked and they sometimes even forget to do basic necessities like shower or brushing their teeth or even eating at periods of time. So they require a supervision or assistance from somebody else and a caregiver. And a caregiver is somebody who assists the individuals with the day-to-day activities. They're typically a government agent employee or a worker for a organization that assists individuals.
So without this app, what does the day-to-day of a caregiver look like? What struggles do they face?
Absolutely. So the first one is, they have to monitor a handful of individuals, anywhere from like 5 to 15 individuals on a day-to-day basis. And as you can imagine, every individual requires a significant amount of care. So their days are just chaotic and they only have, 8 to 10 hours a day. They work often very late and long hours because individuals need care 24/7 pretty much. So that's one of their struggles, just maintaining that active lifestyle and like being able to still have a life outside of work when they're so busy with so many people they have to take care of. And from the individual end, their lives are also very tough. It's something I personally cannot relate to, but from conversations with them, it's a struggle, really a struggle. They really don't have the autonomy on a day-to-day basis because they have to constantly be monitored by an individual, by a caregiver, or get those phone calls middle of the night asking them if they've accomplished what they set out to accomplish that day.
Fantastic. So what were some of the technical challenges that were encountered in building this?
Oh, absolutely. There were quite a handful of technical challenges. The first one, is our goal from the very start is to be able to provide the same experience of using the applications we built across multiple platforms. So we support currently iOS and Android and web for the caregiver and individual mobile applications, and they're separate applications. On top of that, we've integrated the WebEx environment into all those applications to be able to provide them to do calling through the apps directly. And on top of that, we also have another app that we've built to be able to schedule various things, tasks or routines, as we call them internally, for both the individuals and caregivers. And finally, we have an additional native app for the Desk Pro by Cisco. It's one of their collaboration devices that they sell on their website. So building the same experience across all these different apps on all these different screen sizes was definitely tough and something we still have to overcome because it's a work in progress.
Absolutely. So it sounds like a lot of it is really going to benefit these people with disability just because it allows their caregivers to be able to monitor all of these different people with a lot less time, a lot less effort, but still an even greater level of care and attention than they're able to currently provide. Also sounds like the people with disabilities, instead of having to encounter phone calls and check-ins, they'll be able to just live their life, live their day-to-day activities and not have to have that really invasive thing of having a phone call, getting a text message that can really derail a lot of their flow because they are really sensitive to a lot of different interruptions into their life. So that sounds like a very big very big, very important app that we're building out here.
100%. In addition to that, we've decided to integrate various Cisco sensors into their homes, to the individuals' homes, to be able to further automate their lives and give them a bit more control. So, for an example, would be like we've integrated a water sensor, and we are adding that to some of their showers and the kitchen sink, for example, where like we can detect if a individual took a shower that day and what time they took a shower, as well as if they washed their hands, for how long did they wash their hands, and also obviously brushing their teeth. All these different activities are possible for the caregiver to track given that one little sensor that we'll be installing in their house. In addition to that, we've also going to be adding a variety of other sensors like a door open and close sensors. The advantage of that is to be able to detect if an individual left their house, what time did they leave their house, if they left their fridge door open, if, for example, they've entered their bedroom, and all these other scenarios that maybe we haven't thought about today but could be possible in the future. And the goal of that is to provide even further autonomy to the individual by instead of the caregiver constantly checking in on them and kind of taking away from their day, now they will get a gentle reminder on their app to say, hey, you left your door open, go ahead and close that. And they can take the time and close it whenever they feel like it's the right time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sounds like, particularly if they're not eating, not taking care of themselves properly, if there's any sort of major disruption that could negatively affect them, they left their house for too long, then the caregiver will be able to get alerted to this and be attentive to that. Is that correct?
100%, you nailed it. On top of that, part of the power of our mobile app is to provide a very detailed instruction on how to perform a task. For example, every morning, you and I, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, we eat breakfast. But some of these individuals don't have that routine in place yet. They wake up and they forget and they just kind of like do something else. What we've done is we provided them a step-by-step instruction set on exactly like what to do when they wake up. They wake up at 8:30. They will then brush their teeth. Well, how do you brush your teeth? You put toothpaste in your toothbrush and then brush your teeth for 3 minutes. We have laid out a step-by-step instruction of putting toothpaste on a toothbrush, washing that with water, and then putting that in your mouth, waiting 2 to 3 minutes, and then finalizing the brushing teeth experience. We've also added this like interactive timer that starts from when you start brushing your teeth to provide them a 2-minute countdown of adequate hygiene. That was just one task out of many that the caregiver can set up for the individual to provide them further autonomy once again.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. All right. Well, Daniel, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you so much for telling us about autonomous living and, of course, letting all of our viewers at home just have a little insight into what we're working on here and how we're trying to better the lives of everyone.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.